Hello. I'm here to do a little yoga, and this will be largely a standing practice and kind of a sloughing off energy practice. Before I get going, I've just been thinking about trauma and grief, and wanted to say a little bit about that and where yoga fits in. So, in studying trauma in the last few years, one of the central diagrams that is really helpful is one of a bell curve that is actually very similar to the COVID bell curve that we all keep seeing. And down on the kind of bottom terrain of that curve is your normal, comfortable everyday activity in which you can interact with other people and not be triggered, not be either kind of receding into some kind of fear, nor going forward into some kind of anger. But you can stay in that just sort of midline place. And even if something were to come up, somebody were to cut you off in traffic or to say something in front of you that you found offensive, you could still stay with presence and not go up the bell curve. And so going up this curve, you have various degrees of kinds of frustration and going all the way up to anger, and at its most extreme and debilitating. And at some point, that option becomes perhaps not effective, and the organism, your whole being, kind of figures that out, that that's not really a very good option. And then you start to get into freeze and dissociation, and that's the other side of the curve. And so in that you get totally spacing out, a kind of receding out of everyday life, doing things really mindlessly, like eating and watching TV, and just not really being there, not being present. So you've become, as one teacher, Tara Brach, says, you're in the trance. So what is it that keeps you down here? And something that I'm noticing in this time is that, and being reminded of, is that we all have trauma. And I think it's easy to hear that word and think of people who have been in the military, people who have been in really severe accidents, people who suffered, pretty severe childhood abuse. But we all have various degrees of trauma from having grown up in this culture. And there are ways in which we have not been seen, our needs have not been met, we have felt abandoned, and those things come back during times when there's any kind of escalation going on. I know, so many women, when the Kavanaugh hearings were going on, anything that had happened in their past that was an uncomfortable, to put that lightly, sort of sexual event in their life came back. So it totally makes sense to me that right now people are starting to find ways of, or starting to experience kinds of trauma of feeling cut off and isolated, abandoned, and different forms of grief, maybe past grief events that aren't entirely settled, that are returning. So how can we address those? There's lots of ways, but in terms of the ones that I'm going to address now, one is to really truly physically be with yourself, to return to the body. So to come back to this baseline of the bell curve is to come back into some form of social engagement. And for those of us who are social distancing, most of us right now, one, that can be getting on a screen and trying to interact with somebody via Zoom or something like that. But it can also be coming back to yourself as a social system. And so that's something that I think coming into some movement and yoga practice can allow for us, as well as like self-touching, self-soothing. That kind of practice is all really valuable. So I might kind of reflect more on that as we're going. But right now we're just going to come into a little bit of practice to help us return to or stay in ourselves, and to just kind of keep showing up for ourselves. I think that's so important right now. It is so easy to, start adopting these odd sleep hours. And I know this morning, like I was up from 3:30 to 4:30, and then I went back to sleep and I didn't wake up till almost 9:30. And to just kind of start being in this very underwater kind of odd land. And the farther and farther you get offshore, the easier it is to potentially get hijacked by some of these things. So let's just come back into ourselves. And I'm really happy to be here with some of you. I know that there are a few of you who are watching this regularly, and I'm so thankful that you're there. And I'm glad I can be there for you in any way possible. All right. Okay. So come to standing. All right. So nice wide stance, and let's just inhale up and exhale back down. And take that a few more times. Inhale up and exhale back down. And again, inhale up and exhale back down. Great. And then easy swinging twists. Your arms are like cooked noodles. Nice deep breaths and sighing it out. Great. And back to center. Let's shake out. Let's shake out first. And then make some fists and come into your armpits. So and one more, and stop. Open your jaw, move your jaw around, stick out your tongue. Great. So now breath of joy, and use this as a big dumping breath. So I'm going to start with it small, and you can stay there, or you can get more active with it. So I like to use this to kind of release anything that's annoying, disturbing, upsetting right now, which is plenty. So it's a 3-part inhale, and then a ha through the mouth. So ha, 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 ha. And then you can get a little deeper if you want. Ha. 2 more. And last one. Great. And again, shake everything out. Great. Good. All right, so come to the front of your mat. And from here, let's go ahead and find a mountain pose so your feet are parallel. Just look down and make sure they're parallel. And raise up all 10 toes off the ground and put them back down. Draw energy up the legs. Okay, so the abs and the legs are a little bit engaged here. And then inhale the arms up and exhale into the heart. And take that 2 more times. Up and exhale. And 1 more. Inhale and exhale. And this time we'll come down into a forward fold. So inhale, reach, and exhale, forward fold. And just stay here for a few breaths. Feel the breath in the back, the mid-back, the shoulder blades, behind the heart. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold, and then press into the feet, soft knees, and come up with wide arms. Exhale into the heart. Okay, so we're going to take that without that longer time down in the forward fold. Okay, so we're going to take that 4 more times. So inhale up, exhale, fold, hands to shins, look up, exhale, fold, soft knees, press up, reach into the heart. Hands to shins, look up, exhale, fold, soft knees, come on up, exhale into the heart. 2 more. Hands to the shins, look up, exhale, and press into the feet, reach. And 1 more time here. Reach up, exhale, come on down. Hands, look up, exhale, come down, and come on up. And meet with your hands at your heart. Bring your hands against your chest. Actually, bring your palms onto your chest. And take 3 breaths here into this space. Nice. 1 more. Great. And then hands back in prayer, soft knees, and then we're going to open one arm and look back. And then come back to center. And open the opposite arm and look back. And again. So you might feel a little bit of stretch in the pec, kind of the front of the shoulders. Keep going. And 1 more on each side. Great. And coming back to center. Bring your hands to your hips now. Take a wider stance with your feet and imagine you've got a hoop. And just take big circles with your hips. Really getting the full circumference of that hoop. Great. Go the opposite direction. Good. 1 more. And come back to center. Bring your feet back to hip width. And then go ahead and clasp your hands behind you like this, or take one hand grabbing the other hand, okay? Soft knees, come down, let your belly come onto your thighs, and then let your arms come overhead into a big shoulder stretch. And you can hold some kind of strap or even like a hand towel to do this if you can't make that clasp. Take a few big breaths. Inhale and exhale. It's really good to be audible. 1 more, nice and loud.
And then let your clasped hands return to your back and float down to the ground. Bring your left fingertips in front of your left toes, bend your left knee, and sweep your right hand up. Take a few breaths here, looking up at your right hand. Take another inhale and exhale. Just switch sides, right fingers in front of right toes, right knee bends, left hand comes up, and a few breaths. And exhale it down, and then let's move with that. So inhale the right up, exhale it down. Inhale the left up, exhale it down. Right, exhale down, left, and exhale down, and then stay down. Bend your knees again so that your belly is on your thighs. And then reach your hands forward and come into a thunderbolt or chair pose. All right, see if you can lift all 10 toes off the ground and then place them back down. And find a steady breath, find a steady thing to stare at. And then come up like 3/4 and exhale yourself back down. Take that again. Inhale up 3/4. Exhale yourself back down. And again. And come down. Stick out your tongue. Great. And then come down with your hands and come into an easy forward fold. You might even walk your feet just a little farther apart and hold elbows. And then just let yourself move side to side, like you've got an elephant trunk and you're just moving left to right, slowly, slowly. Great. And then walk the feet back together if you separated them, and bring your palms together and round up with the palms coming up through the midline of the body to the sky and back into the heart. Great. Just pause here with your thumbs against your breastbone and just take a few breaths, lift your toes, let yourself rock gently forward and back on your heels. Great. And then we're going to inhale the arms up, come back down, and then step the right foot back and come into a high lunge. Okay, so think of that back leg having helium balloons on it, lifting it up. You can see it can kind of go down like that, but try and keep it up. And at the same time, for a moment, arch your back, round through your back, and now let it settle back down and think of the heart coming forward. Think of the whole pelvic bowl being heavy. And then on an exhalation, let that knee come down, release the foot, and then inhale the arms up, looking up, and exhale into the heart. And then we're going to come into a twist, so open up to your left. Easy breaths. But keep breathing. And then bring your hands back into prayer. Turn forward. Hands come down. Curl your back toes. Step forward into a forward fold. Hands to shins. Heart comes forward. Exhale and fold. Palms together. Round up the midline of the body. Across the face to the sky. And exhale into the heart.
Few breaths here. So every time we return here, you're literally bringing your thumbs onto that breastbone. You're feeling that contact, that weight. And I even press in a certain amount. So it's just that person, that you on you contact to be like, yeah, I'm here. Okay? Same thing on the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come down, step the left foot back, coming into this high lunge and round through the back, and then soften the heart forward, lifting through that back leg, gazing forward, softening through the jaw, softening through the throat. Big inhale, and on an exhale, release the knee and the foot and reach the arms up. And exhale into the heart and twist, turning to your right. And then we're just going to take a few breaths here. Bring the hands back into prayer. Bring them back down onto the ground. Curl your back toes. Step forward again. Bend your knees so that your belly is on your thighs. And again, reach forward into chair. And this time we're going to inhale and exhale. So, 2 more. And come on all the way up and let the hands come down. This time bring the hands onto the belly. And now find the breath in this space. So before you were breathing up here, now you're going to breathe down here. Feel the rise and the fall. Great. And go ahead and release. Go ahead and come down into a forward fold. Plant your hands and step back into a downward facing dog. And go ahead and bend one knee and really let the opposite heel just be heavy. And take some breaths into that calf. And then switch to the other side. Great. Come back into a regular downward dog. Come up onto the balls of the toes. Press more into the arms. Lift through the sits bones. And then slowly drop the heels. And then look slightly forward. Let the knees come down. Separate the knees and come down into a wide-kneed child's pose. And breathe into the mid-back. Breathe into the back of the heart. Easy breath. Great. Let your weight come back forward. Come into a table pose. So finding your arms right under the shoulders. And then you're going to extend your right foot. Let your weight come into your left hand and sweep up with the right hand. And then just take a few circles with this arm. Full circumference of the arm. And then the next time the arm is up, let it stay straight up toward the sky and sweep your leg back behind you and then see, I'm just going to pull my shirt back, and then see if you can lift that leg up. So coming into a balancing pose.
And then slowly bring the leg down and let the arm come back down. And then we'll just take the opposite side. So the left foot comes out, your weight comes into your right hand, sweep up through the left, and then take a few full circumferences of this left arm. And then the next time the arm comes up, let the fingers reach toward the sky, sweep the left leg back, and then reach it up so that you're in a balancing pose. Great. Leg comes down, arm comes down, and return to all fours. Cross at the ankles and go ahead and sit back. So bring your feet in front of you and let's inhale and reach up and exhale and come down. So we're going to stay down here, taking hold of the feet or the ankles, whatever is available, and releasing through the head. And just letting the breath become even and steady. And then slowly let the hands come up the legs and return to a seated position. Keep your left leg out in front of you and the right leg crosses over. Wrap the left elbow around, bring the right hand close in toward the body and then look over the right shoulder in a twist. Finding the breath down in the belly, you can feel it moving against the leg. And then take another inhale and slowly exhale and just bring that leg out. And then the right leg is active and the left foot comes over, cross the right arm, and then left hand follows around, press into the floor, rise up through the crown of the head. Take another inhale, and on an exhale, just turn back down. Great. Go ahead and bring your legs, your feet together into a diamond. And you don't need to have the feet in as far as they'll go toward the groin, just a wider diamond. And then inhale, lift up through the head, and exhale, let the heart come forward and come on down, and then you can actually bring your elbows onto your shins and use your thumbs to create, or your hands to create like a little bit of a platform for your forehead. Once again, find the breath in the belly. Notice that the face is soft, the jaw is released. And there's just an easy breath in and out through the nose, filling the belly. Slowly let yourself come back up. Find whatever seated position is comfortable for you. And then you're going to bring one hand under one armpit and one hand under the other armpit. So this is a position to, if you're feeling like you're really kind of going into anxiety too far, this is a self-comforting position that will bring the body back to itself.
So just take a moment here, either closing your eyes or finding a gaze point. And then go ahead and bring your hands in front of you in prayer and bring thanks to yourself for being here and taking this time. Bring thanks to others who are in your household, in your family. And let's bring thanks to those who are on the front lines of this work in multiple ways. All right. Thank you so much. It's lovely to see you, to be with you. And let me know how you are, if there's something else that you're wanting or needing. Okay? Thanks.